What is a secret? Is it as simple as knowing something that others don't know? A 2022 study on the psychology of keeping secrets categorized over 13,000 different secrets, from which there are 13 common secrets, and on average, each of us is keeping at least one from that list of 13. Which one are you carrying? From an early age, we learn to whisper them in ears. What is the secret? Is it simply something that you don't want told, or a pinky promise not to tell? Is it a dark, scary secret, or a fun secret like a birthday surprise? Even when you keep your promise and lock it away, we know that keeping secrets can take a terrible toll on us. We know that secrets can feel like a burden, an anchor, a weight, making it hard for us to move. Personally, I've looked down that deep hole and wandered aimlessly through those tunnels, and I know that we have to break free of those chains. Research shows that opening up and self-disclosing is freeing, almost liberating, and can even promote intimacy amongst partners. Research shows that couples who talk about important relationships issues with each other enjoy greater intimacy, as reflected in measures of passionate love and relationship satisfaction. Women also respond more strongly, not only to self-disclosure, but also to the responsiveness. Men, let me say that again in case you didn't hear it. You will enjoy greater intimacy as reflected in measures of passionate love and relationship satisfaction, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not that kind of doctor, but I know that this one is good for you.
There goes Dr. Stacker again. Instead of just talking about metals, he's always telling a story. And let me guess, you're about to talk about it next.
Okay, besides that last little bit being a touch rude, there is a point after all. Second to interpersonal relationship, finance and money are areas where some of the biggest and most explosive secrets are kept. When it comes to money, there are some secrets that never get shared because it's not in the best interest of those in power. And we often have to learn them on our own, usually the hard way. So today I want to let you in on some secrets within the stacking community that we tend to gloss over. While there are definitely more than three, I'm going to highlight these three in particular. 1. Paper and silver gold. While almost all stackers preach the mantra, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, smart stackers know the importance of both physical and paper metals. Many of us do buy mining stocks and ETFs. While mining stocks aren't really a stretch or a shock because at least they're connected to retrieving the physical metal, but if you read the discussion boards and stuff like that, you would think that no physical stacker would ever be caught dead with an ETF. Here's the reality. ETFs offer something physical metals can't, and that's leveraged growth. Additionally, ETFs improve an investor's liquidity and are more convenient to buy and sell. They can be purchased in small amounts, which is great for those with a tight budget, and they trade at the net value of the metals. They provide access to derivative markets and give exposure to other metals you can't or wouldn't want to stack on your own. Now, I'm not saying it's a great investment, but the benefits can't be denied, and they're often a part of a savvy investor's holding. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to the controversial secret. And given what they are, I better ask you now to hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, want to support this channel, or just love precious metals. It really helps us get more exposure on the platform. Not to mention, it allows me to have a sense of pride when my daughter asks me, how many likes did I get? Even though she always reminds me that Mr. Beast gets way more likes. Number 2, real stackers sell their metals. Oh boy, I can feel the hate coming in the comments. But hear me out. I know the mantra pushed by creators and all the other people in places like Reddit is, I will never sell. I'm passing it on to my kids. I want to remind you of the quote I shared in my last video. If you repeat a lie enough, it becomes accepted as truth. While the previous mantra is not a lie, in some ways, that makes it actually more dangerous. Even though it's not a lie, it's just bad investing advice given by the wolves to keep the sheep where they need to be. And I said sheeps with an S, you know what I mean. Hear me out. This is not to say you sell and leave the market completely, but think about this. Do you ever really hear the ultra rich talk about buying and never selling? No, they talk about being in an accumulation or buying phase and selling phases. My hero Rick Rule often talks openly about this, that there are times when he is holding a larger amount of metals than others. Well, how does this happen? Well, ultimately, it means they had to sell at some point. As I mentioned, there are wolves and there are sheep. And some of those wolves have learned the importance of speaking sheep because they know sheep will baa, baa, and repeat what they hear. They also know that if they keep the sheep calm and docile as they approach, there's a chance they won't have to chase down their dinner. Mantras like, hold on for dear life, or I will never sell, or you shouldn't sell so you can pass them on to your kids, is a part of the psychological warfare that they wage on us. No shade to the crypto people, but let's learn from them. The wolves told them to buy the dip. They told them to hold on for dear life. And then the wolves took all their money. Those wolves told the sheep whatever they needed to hear as the wolves fleeced the sheep and transferred millions of dollars in wealth from the sheep to the wolves. The wolves will give you advice that they would never take for themselves. The bull takes the stairs and the bear jumps out the window. So why in the world would you get to the top of the building or the top of a market cycle just to jump out the window? Keep your wealth and don't transfer it to the wolves. By now, someone has already commented something to the effect of,
well, why would I go back to worthless fiat?
while our fiat is worthless, you still need to use it as a medium for transactions. So transact. Take your profits and invest in cash flow in real estate, farmland, a business. I don't know, pick something. Heck, I'd even be okay with you putting it in a CD and buy back your gold when it's cheaper. I'm definitely not going to watch gold peak at, let's pick a crazy number like $5,000 just to watch it fall to $2,500 as I lose half of my wealth. That's the wolves talking to sheep and selling us nonsense. The wolves tell us that while they're tying on their dinner bibs around their neck because it's dinner time and you're the main course. You can still leave it to your children, just leave more to them because you know the secret. Since I've already pissed off a number of you, I might as well maximize the hate with the next one, which is about silver. Silver is good, but gold is where you really need to be. Silver is a vehicle, not the destination. Silver is important to have, and especially now, as it has tremendous upside. But let's go back to the wolves and sheep analogy. The wolves know that sheep need something to keep them occupied, or they would see the wolves coming from a mile away. In our situation, they've given us silver as a distraction. Again, I'm going to challenge you not to react emotionally, but to listen and truly hear me out. As a monetary and industrial metal, silver is a fantastic investment, but it's not the best investment. We all know gold is, for a lack of a better phrase, the gold standard. There's a reason why they call silver poor man's gold. The wolves know that they have to let us have something. And while they gobble up all the gold that they can, we get a flawed silver market. And let me just cover a few of those issues. It's a highly manipulated market where prices have never been allowed to trade freely. We have corrupt banks and a COMEX that control the market, and every time these institutions are dumb enough to get caught cheating us, the quote-unquote regulators come in, smack their hand, not for what they did, but for being dumb enough to get caught and forcing the regulators to do something. These banks steal billions with a B and get fined millions with an M. They never lose access to the market. They never get banned from trading. They pay fines that are pennies on the dollar in comparison to what they have stolen from you and I. Silver has some of the highest premiums. Tell me how that makes sense, especially when people point to the 17-to-5 ratio in the Earth's crust. Why in the world does silver have higher premiums than gold? My next point, they've lured us in with all the bells and whistles of how important silver is because they know we believe that will make it more valuable. I don't believe they will ever allow silver to be in a free market where price is truly determined by its utility and value. Think about this. All the uses of silver that we taught when we make a case for silver, could you imagine what it would do to our economy if silver was traded at $100 instead of $20? You think inflation is bad now. Even if you use a small amount of silver in your production, what would happen if that cost went up by a factor of 5? And then think about that factor of 5 across all the industries, auto, electronics, medical, etc., all the places where silver is used. My submission to you is that silver is so valuable that the system can't afford for silver to be as valuable in terms of price. So what does all this mean? Silver should be a vehicle that we use to get us to the ultimate destination, the ultimate monetary metal, gold. I know silver has always been around and been money and blah, blah, blah. This is about your money and your wealth, and not some talking points that the wolves have used to infiltrate and make the sheep docile. Look at the ultra rich and the rich. What do they stack primarily? Gold over silver. Please don't feel like you need to defend silver because I'm actually right there with you. But we also can't pretend that gold is not where we ultimately need to be. Just look at this chart of silver, gold, Dow Jones, and the S&P. And the returns, 3,400%, 3,300%, 2,400%. in comparison to a 950% return for silver. Do you know that 70% of APMEX sales last year came from gold? What that tells me is the general public is talking about silver while the smart money is quietly buying gold for a reason, just like we've seen with all the central banks. Can you really look at that and say, yes, I need to be all in with silver? In my opinion, that answer is no. You need to be in silver until you can parlay it into gold, and or your life situation changes enough that allows you to invest in gold directly. I don't begrudge anyone who wants to stay in silver exclusively or primarily. Whatever, it's your decision. And this is just my opinion. Since I started this channel, I've always tried to educate and provide you with facts and truth as unbiased as I can. And when it's my opinion, I try to be clear about that. There's a reason why I don't do unboxings to show you the latest cool looking coin or some of the other things you can find on this platform. That's not my role. And without getting too religious, I don't believe that's what I was called to do. Ministry comes in many forms, and mine happens to be education. In education, it's not about covering the topics or sharing the information students would prefer to hear, but the information they need to hear. I do this because I wish someone would have done this for me, because we are fighting a system that is far more interested in preparing us to be factory workers than business owners and investors. The information I shared in this video should never be considered secrets, but in the world where those in power see themselves as wolves and they view us as sheep, we just can't continue to let the system speak our language only to infiltrate our minds with advice and tactics they would never follow themselves. The rich and those in power have kept these secrets because the system works best when there's lots of sheep and few wolves. With that, comment a secret about money or even something around life that might help someone else who's watching this video. You should know by now that I don't do this for money. I do this for you, our community. So I'd like for you to share something that could benefit someone in this community. It may seem insignificant to you, but it just might be something someone else needs to hear today. It doesn't matter if you hit the like button or subscribe. Put something in the comments for the benefit of someone else. Consider it your good karma. If you can't think of something right now, give a thumbs up to someone's comment or reply or come back when you have something. You already know you're my A+ students, but today, I want you to know that you are so special as well, and you deserve all of your dreams, be they monetary, health, love, happiness, and all of the above. Now go to the comment section and be something positive in someone else's life by sharing some of your wisdom. Always stack smarter and never stop learning.